Did you know that Airbnb was founded by three dudes who could barely afford their rent? They got 3 air mattresses and put them on the floor of their apartments. It was literally an airbed and breakfast. And 14 years later, they're a $120 billion travel giant. If you want to be in the know, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Hey there, Dave here. That is a wild story. The year was 2007. Apparently, every hotel room in San Francisco was sold out because of some conference that was going on there. And these guys had a brilliant idea, right at the time when people were starting to get used to the sharing economy. But today, we're looking to the future as travel rebounds and as nomadic living becomes a thing. Today, it's all about the future of Airbnb. Any company that can call itself a noun and a verb in pop culture is doing something right. Zoom, Uber, Google, all prime examples of that. Airbnb created an entirely new category of lodging and is changing the way we travel, and they're positioned to capitalize on emerging nomadic living trends. I actually invested in Airbnb back in 2018 pre-IPO, and I was feeling great about it until 2020 happened. And then I basically had to mentally prepare to lose my entire investment. But then something remarkable happened. Sure, Airbnb's bookings and revenue dropped, but the shift in the way people think about travel might actually accelerate Airbnb's growth in the same way we saw with other companies like Zoom or DoorDash becoming accepted. Airbnb doesn't think we're ever going back to the world of travel the way we knew it back in 2019. And they're preparing to be the #1 beneficiary of new trends in lodging and leisure. Let's break down the business, which has proven resiliency through a pandemic that has put the brakes on travel. In the stock market, performance is all about how results fare in comparison to expectations. For the entire travel industry, the bar has been set extremely low, practically to the floor. So investors were quite pleased to hear Airbnb reveal in its first ever earnings report that it saw gross booking volume down just 31% and revenue down 22% compared to a year ago. In the early days of the pandemic, Airbnb had set expectations that its revenue would be cut in half. So their earnings were actually pretty strong, considering on average their competitors saw bookings down 66% and revenue off by 65% year over year. For fiscal year 2020, revenue dropped 30% for Airbnb, far better than the 50% drop that management had forecast. As we track the rebound in travel and Airbnb's comeback, another key metric to watch will be the number of nights and experiences booked. In the fourth quarter, total nights and experiences booked declined nearly 40% year over year to $46.3 million. While travel restrictions didn't damage the company's operational and financial performance by as much as expected, Airbnb is emphasizing that uncertainty around the pandemic's trajectory and the vaccine rollout does limit their visibility into 2021 travel and growth trends. Despite the uncertainty, Airbnb is optimistic that people plan to travel this year. I'm already planning my summer vacation, and I've already booked multiple Airbnbs. I'm planning to get out of the Texas heat this summer and head up to Maine. And look at some of these places. Doesn't that look amazing? It's a way different experience than you can get from a hotel. And it's not just me. A recent survey by the company found that more than half of respondents have either already booked, are currently planning to travel, or expect to travel in 2021. This includes 57% of 18 to 29-year-olds and 60% of 30 to 49-year-olds. 56% prefer a domestic or local destination compared to just 21% who want to take a cross-border trip into another country. I'm also planning to do that this summer, and longer-term stays are way more affordable in Airbnbs than in hotels. That could play well into Airbnb's hands, with more people willing to explore smaller cities and communities and relying on local hosts for housing. Airbnb now expects positive year-over-year nights and booking trends in the first quarter of 2021. Airbnb is well aware of the new reality of travel and is doing all it can to make sure it's prepared to capitalize this year. Work-from-home flexibility created by the pandemic has also been a sneaky little catalyst for Airbnb's business model. Why? Because it has given life to a new trend in nomadic living. Think about it. Without having to go into the office, you can work from anywhere. And if you can work from anywhere, you can live anywhere. And if you can live anywhere, you can like anywhere. And if you haven't yet liked this video from wherever you're living, you should do that right now. Airbnb makes it easy to live and work from anywhere, and it's introducing new product innovation built to leverage the idea of flexibility. According to Airbnb, so far 40% of searches on the site in 2021 have been flexible in either date or location. Airbnb has updated its search capabilities with a new feature called Flexible Dates. This lets guests look for listings without picking exact dates or even location. The feature encourages users to identify their goal of a trip and the desired duration for a stay. It lets prospective travelers view a wider set of options, which Airbnb says better reflects the current travel environment. The current environment is also seeing strong domestic travel, particularly in North America, where average nightly rates tend to be higher than in other parts of the world. Daily rates averaged about $128 in Q4 2020, an increase of 13% year over year. This was fueled by more guests booking entire homes where prices are higher instead of private or shared rooms. Not only are users looking for entire homes, but they're also staying longer, which Airbnb attributes to the work from home trend. This creates a two-sided opportunity for Airbnb. More people traveling to stay in other homes means their homes will be empty and eligible to be shared as well. And converting travelers to hosts is a key initiative for Airbnb. The company's largest source of hosts in 2019 was prior guests. In fact, 23% of hosts in 2019 were guests at an Airbnb before becoming hosts. And the work from home trend seems to be here to stay. 1 in 4 Americans will be working remotely in 2021. That according to a report from the freelance platform Upwork. By 2025, more than 36 million Americans will be working remotely. That is an 87% jump from pre-pandemic levels. Finally, let's take a look at the experiences and hotel side of Airbnb's business. In 2020, these components took a back seat. Experiences, which are unique activities led by local hosts, had to be put on hold due to social distancing. To adjust, Airbnb tried to pivot the product to online experiences, which really didn't fill the gap. On the Q4 earnings call, management emphasized that they remain focused on building up the experiences offering despite taking a pause on it last year. In addition to experiences, Airbnb also had to scale back investment in hotels entirely. Hotels do remain a part of the strategy moving forward. Airbnb noted that it won't be investing as much as before. So how exactly do hotels fit into the Airbnb business model? Well, the company says that hotels are important for filling in network gaps, meaning Airbnb still wants to be a search destination for users who want to stay in hotels. Most hotels globally remain below 50% occupancy. Airbnb's goal is to provide demand to the hotels by connecting them with Airbnb's users. It fits into the overall mission to become an end-to-end travel platform. To integrate itself into the hotel category, Airbnb acquired the hotel booking app Hotel Tonight back in 2019. And there you have it. Airbnb is weathering a storm that many investors, including yours truly, thought might sink the company. Airbnb showed resiliency during a global lockdown, is uniquely positioned to benefit from a new work-from-home lifestyle, and remains on track to become an all-in-one travel platform. I can tell you personally, not so much as an investor, but as someone who has stayed in Airbnbs all over the world, that it is a different experience. It is something that I actually prefer over hotels. Sure, I do enjoy the occasional 5-star hotel, but if you really want to see what it would be like to live somewhere, you can't recreate the experience of living in someone's house in a neighborhood, getting to meet the host, have them tell you what restaurants are good, having them tell you what things you have to do when you're in town. But what about you? Have you stayed in an Airbnb? Do you like Airbnb as a company? Have you hosted people in your house? That is something that I have not done and probably will not do, but let me know what you think down in the comments. I will reply to as many of you as I possibly can. And that is the latest from here. I'm Dave Hansen. I will see you back there for the next Hey There, Dave here.